That's their, like they invented, quote unquote, invented that.
Strat.
The strat. Morphling coming out there, so that will be a Visage mid, will be a 3/3 Night Stalker, and I would imagine then a Fata Bristle. And a Bat support.
Well, so we know what NIP brings to the table. I almost said MIP, they're the Men in Black, no. But what does Gambit need to do now with what they have to pull off this upset?
Well, the lanes are slightly different than we expected. It's a support Dazzle, not a core. And they picked a Morphling probably because they felt like their opponents had enough like early game slowdown stuff that it's better to pick something that is a little conservative and also something that matches up well against Lifestealer, which is Morphling. We saw that the other day.
Yeah.
So it feels like their strat wasn't able to fully commit like they wanted it to, but they still got a good hero and carry matchup. So as long as their lanes are alright, I think it'll be okay for them.
Who do you got?
I'm obviously going to say NIP.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it at all.
At all?
They're the better team.
They're the better team, I feel like, in terms of drafting. That Morphling, we've been talking about what Gambit kind of style and plan was with the draft they had, and then the Morphling is kind of backing off from that and say, wait a second, we'll go for Morphling just in case it goes late, and means they kind of lose faith in their own plan to begin with, which in turn makes me lose faith in them, which makes me think that NIP's going to take it.
Well, I'm going to have to agree with you because NIP just played out of their minds yesterday, and I like going with the hot hand. So let's move it on over and see what we got.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, what a series this should be, right? We've got NIP versus Gambit and some exciting stuff happening already in the draft. You know, PPD letting through the Visage, and then that final pick, the Morphling, this Alpha Ninja Morphling. We saw it the other day really pop off. I imagine, as was discussed, they are going to have him again play it in the mid lane, go up against what looks to be the Bristleback. This sort of what solves sort of the Visage situation, you know, where NIP prepared for Gambit to make this lane swap, and how well will Alpha Ninja do now in this mid lane matchup against maybe the Bristleback. We'll see if NIP do change what they put mid, because the way the lane's going to change on Gambit's half of things. But there's definitely potential, isn't there, for this Morphling to have another good game?
Yeah, for sure. I think that you got to be confident if you're NIP, because this is what you wanted. You know, you gave the Visage away for a purpose.
Yeah.
They're running that support bat for Saksa that I really like. He's been playing it in pubs as well. Very talented player. #1 EU MMR, I believe, at the moment. And if you're Gambit, you have the win condition, you have the Morph versus the Lifestealer, but from what I've been reading and seeing, Lifestealer Wisp are just broken right now, to the point people are already complaining that need nerfs. And I feel like Lifestealer, if there was a hero that didn't care about his counters, I think it's this one right now. So it'll come down to the laning phase a lot, like you're saying. So I don't know how it'll go, but if he can beat a Kunkka, he can probably beat a Bristleback, but I do believe that yesterday he abused his enemy's missteps, not, you know,
he certainly had sort of the skill level advantage yesterday, and that's not necessarily going to be the case here in this game, as Fada very much going to be up there at the level of Alpha Ninja, if not higher. We'll see how well Alpha Ninja can do in that mid lane matchup against him.
It's cool. The NIP strat is very straightforward. They keep running these three. Oh,
talking about 3-3.
Yep. He was going before he died, at least. That's cool. But yeah, they like running these 3 tanky, beefy cores and then 2 supports that are now able to play much better because they don't have to frontline. There's always going to be chaos in front of them. They have an easy time getting their spells off. So yesterday they had the carry CK. This time it's the carry Lifestealer. And you know, credit to PPD, he's had trouble like finding ways to play to these players' strengths. You know, I don't want to say that a lot of these guys, Ace, Bata, they didn't have the greatest offers post TI.
Okay.
They were like that.
Like other captains didn't see the potential that PPD saw in them.
Well, it was like kind of like the next guys up, right? Like they weren't those tier 1 super flashy finds like Nisha was for Secret or Zai.
They needed a bit of work.
Yeah. So, you know, credit. Because it's tough. Like this is a weirder kind of style, but I think this patch will help a lot because it seems to be more of the style that these players like to enjoy. I mean, Fado's on Bristleback, right? It's not a Razor or a Viper, but it's still that beefy frontliner that isn't a traditional mid-hero that he likes to excel upon.
See a bit of a chase down onto Saxa, but Saxa should be fine to get away. And, of course, keep that creep wave going. We'll see the odds are pretty close this game. 2.56 for Gambit, 1.43 for NIP. Definitely, if you're sort of a big believer in the NRP team and sort of their powerhouse as a tier 1 team, that's not too bad there.
Yeah.
0.43 for them.
They'll have an advantage because down bottom, Lich Lifestealer, you can't do a damn thing as a Beastmaster, and 3-3 and Soxa are doing the right move, really, where they're just consistently pulling creep waves. You saw Soxa take one behind tower, and now 3-3 is going to mess around with the equilibrium, so they should be able to do better up here 2-on-3 than the Gambit offlane will do 1-on-2, which is a pretty big advantage, especially when you consider middle most likely to be a trade. So you can expect NiP to have a decent laning advantage, but it's not a try-on-try scenario, so it's going to be minimal.
Space being created up here as 33.
What is he doing?
Chased all the way down, and will be nearly trapped in by these creeps. Going to take a long time to die. He doesn't have a TP, and with that poison touch on him, FNG, he will slowly kill him. Very slowly, though.
Will he kill him?
Sure.
Will he?
I mean, he's going to have vision again. One more touch is all that's needed to keep that going. As finally, he gets the kill on 33.
But it's so much space, and this is the new way you play offlane, because you see there's a double creep wave. So yeah, sure, you lose what is technically your support, right? Because they're splitting the 3 and the 4. And Soxa gets near level 3 off the solo XP he's getting thanks to the distraction.
I mean, and as you say, with that double wave, that momentum is going to swing right over to their tower. So he's going to be in a good place to pick it up. Mid lane at the moment, 14 for 2 against the 13 for 5. Pretty even trading between these two sides when it comes to farm. Down the lines, is sort of the lack of disable going to be a problem for NRP, do you think, against that morph? I mean, what do they have? They have the Night Stalker getting on top of him with the Silence, which is, of course, very strong.
Yes.
And the Lasso. But so the Lifestealer and the Bristle, two cores that can't really get stuck in without relying on their teammates. As top lane, they will kill off Saxa. It's a little too far away from 33, and the 3 of them able to beat down on him. It's 3 for 1 for Gambit. That Lifestealer's farm down bottom looking pretty damn scary. 18 and 16, a lot of denies there. The Ace is getting off.
Every CS as well. It's a free game, and they got the kill. So this is going to be a super fast Midas for Ace. To your point, that's really the concern, right? You look at the lineup of Gambit, at a certain point, they will hit critical mass. Visage, Beastmaster, Morph. Like, they're just going to become unstoppable. This powerhouse. They can just run down lanes.
I mean, they don't have any wave clear, really. No way to push waves back out.
It's a good point, and that's their downside, right? If they don't have momentum, it's tough for them to keep up in the farm game. NiP, you have multiple heroes that can clear stacks, jungle, shove lanes fast. How do you kill Bristleback is going to be the question, especially with a Lich behind him. Pretty much pure physical damage on the side of Gambit. Lich armor reduces that significantly. Just have limited catch opportunities. Like, sure, you have chasing power, but they really want to be taking engagements around structures and sort of just bowling over their enemy. It's not a, oh, hey, you know, I spy a hero, let's go try and kill him. They just don't have the stuns for that. Old school Beastmaster maybe, you know, with like the bots blink style, but the new one, you're just going to buy Vlads and walk down lanes.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen the alternate Beastmaster build. Is that just, it's in every situation, it's just worse? Like, you always have to go for the sort of the brainless build, the one that everyone goes for. As we'll actually see up top, a bit of an attempt onto the Dazzle and the Tiny. 6 stacks are there onto Immersion. Saxa will be slowed down a little bit by the Poison Touch and Immersion. He's just going to go for the TP out. There's no disable, no stuns.
Just hit nighttime as well, so 3-3 all of a sudden got this boost to his move speed and aggression power. And his top lane gets much harder now that it's night. I like this decision from PPD, and this is the danger of putting your offlaner on an island and tri-laning aggro, because you get the carry to a point in the safe lane where he's now able to dominate his lane by himself, and then you rotate your other support top with a level advantage because it was just a dual lane down there. So now it's nighttime, you're aggro tri-laning, and look at this, Gambit suddenly forced under tower. They might even get Dove here, catapults up as well. 3 archers, you got to be real careful, and you're definitely going to aggro Glyph here if you're NiP and just go for this. I hope we go look top.
Oh, they are diving in past that tower. Here we go, ready to kick things off straight away. PPD is going to get tossed in with them actually by Immersion. It's Gambit trying to turn towards Saxa. Saxa's going to be kept fine with the Frost Shield, and in fact, it's Dahak in trouble. As on top of him, 33 gets. Dahak is gone. Saxa does go down in response, 1 for 1. NIP, they are still sort of stuck behind the tower, but they'll be able to cut their way through the trees, themselves back to safety after they get the trade. They want to getting that Visage.
I think that's worth. It's a hero that's really going to control the tempo of Gambit. Like the Visage Beastmaster are the ones that need good games. And so far, neither one of them really having optimal laning matchups.
Only really the morph.
Yeah.
For Gambit at least having the strong start. So Alpha Ninja is getting good farm. As I say, the other day we did see a fantastic performance by him on the morph. Ace able to get that kill on his own down bottom. The same time action going on as Zaxa, 33 and PPD move in onto Immersion. The Grave wears out, will not keep him alive. FNG also falling low, but they'll hold back from diving any further. 33 tanking a little too much from the tower.
You can go Shrine if you want. Nice job canceling through Freeze Flask there. Not too big of a deal though. He's got a lot of regen left, still near full HP.
Thanks for me.
It's a cool game so far. I like what Nip's done strategically. I like what Gambit's done as well. It's going to be interesting to see. Do you want to rotate to the Beastmaster's lane, or do you want to try and bring him towards middle, possibly even top? So the one downside of the Nip lineup is really only the Night Stalker can rotate, and he's in the tri-lane. So because of this, no one's really going to be able to influence the lanes. It's not like Bristleback can rotate and do much.
No one else is able to sort of get in there and get on top of anyone very easily at the moment before they have any sort of item that's going to allow them to do so.
It's just like a naturally slow-paced game because of that.
Yeah, bit of a hunt towards 33. You can get for this one. Alpha Ninja actually able to dive in and get PPD underneath the tower. So now that he's there with the other three of them, they can look to slowly pursue 33. Zaxa will be able to join in with the Lifestealer to get old ALWAYWANNAFLY down inside of the jungle, as it seemed to be where he was positioned. And 33 actually manages to get away. They can't quite chase him over the trees.
That's a nice sequence to watch, though. I mean, it's a bit stale in that nothing was really surprising, but all players did what they needed to do in that sequence. Alpha Ninja pushed his lane so that he was then free to rotate without losing creeps. He gets the one kill, recognizes, hey, it's not value to chase 3-3 anymore. I'm going to TP back middle. He only missed one CS. Oh, nice job. Luckily, PPD, of course, getting that 1 point. In the Sinister Gaze, I've seen a lot of Liches go 2-2-0. Not the play.
No, I mean, it seems so value. Yeah, absolutely.
And now this is a good move by Fada just to secure this offlane tower. Got the Arcane Rune, just come up here and start spamming. He'll finish the Vanguard soon, and that's a key item. You know, we didn't discuss that, but part of the reason Bristol's so good here is because you are playing up against 0 heroes that itemize naturally for a Silver Edge, and Crimson Guard is incredibly effective against Beast and Visage. You make the Visage birds do literally 0 damage when you have that shield on your allies.
And especially, you know, the problem being that this is a game where that Visage was in a tri-lane, so those birds aren't going to come at sort of a time where they are just shredding through heroes. It's going to be a slow progression because you have that Bristle in the mid getting the boosted XP. He's not going to care at all about the Visage this game.
Yeah, and look at the Beastmaster's net worth. He is dead last, and this right here is why I am still anti-tri-lane. Because good, smart teams like NIP, they're going to abuse this. Like, Peter knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's going to, it's already Lifestealer's favorite against Beast. But you get him that level ahead, that full 4 or 5 creep wave advantage. You're getting every CS, every deny, and then you just ditch. So you're dominating one lane, and then you can immediately equalize the off lane by making it a 3-on-3. And that small advantage could be enough to give NIP the victory in this game, because they've got 2 very farmed cores against the enemy's Just Morph, who, as we discussed, he's not the tempo controller for his team. He wants to just chill.
He's going to turn to the Bristle and start having a bit of a go on to Fada and 33. They'll look towards 33. 33 gets the silence out. Fada's going to try and head into the fight, but they've already lost the Night Stalker. Night Stalker will fall. These Quill Sprays are stacking up, though, so Gambit has to be careful. They'll get themselves away from Fada. Getting that kill there, and indeed, as the game goes on, as you can see with the odds just becoming a bit more sure with the fact that NIP are the more likely team to take this victory, as they've certainly had the better lead so far in this first 10 minutes.
Promise Ace has had a Midas for some time now. He's going to be very strong, and looks like an E-Blade rush on Alpha Ninja. I have not seen this before, at least on this patch.
No, and not on the mid-morph. He didn't do this last game when he did the mid-morph. So a different approach.
I don't know if I like this. I guess I just don't really understand it.
Yeah, because who's he looking to blow up? I mean, so the 3 cores, they're not really cores you blow up with an E-Blade, are they?
Seriously. They're anti-burst because they're so damn tanky.
And one of them has magic immunity.
Yeah. Which is quite an advantage against burst magical damage. It's a built-in BKB.
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll see how it plays off for him. They do lose Zaxa to the Beastmaster, as mid lane they were starting to move in behind that tier 1 tower. Now they're onto the tower itself. We'll look to take that tier 1 away from NIP.
Good movement from Fada, though. This is what you like to see, and part of what makes Fada so adept at these style of heroes. It's more about knowing where to position. On heroes like, you know, Storm's like Quap Puck, right? You got to do things, you got to make stuff happen. Heroes like Bristle, Razor, Viper, Tide, you're tanky. It takes far more heroes than just one to take you out. So it's all about where are you farming and how are you positioning yourself. And as a Bristle in this game, your job is to stop aggression and just always be in the lane that is being pressured. So he goes top, make sure that tower goes down. Now I'll TP back mid. Peter doing a good job stacking the Ancients. That's easy pickings for Fada, who will then use this time to probably take him out. I think he might want to finish his Soul Ring first, but we'll see. Curious to see the item build he chooses to go for.
We'll have a little pause here, but considering that a lot of pressure is going to be on Alpha Ninja this game, the only member of Gambit that's really had a comparable time to the cause of an IP, he's got to make some magic happen with that E-Blade. I guess at best he's sort of just relying on getting the pickoffs onto the supports. But even then, it's not going to be the easiest to sort of get past the Lifestealer, Nightstalker, and Bristle on the front and find the opportunity to find the quick pop with the E-Blade onto the squishier supports. It's difficult. It's Ace with that Midas phase on track to get a good timing with the Radiance. As he is very hard to deal with. They are going to send 3 down here for an attempt on his life. As they get him. They are able to find him with the Roar. Oh. The Roar's there to set up. They have the combo. And Ace unable to get the Rage off beforehand, as it seemed only was after the Roar. So the magical damage had already been done. And off the back of getting that Lifestealer kill, they'll be able to push him to tier 1. A big kill for Gambit to find.
You can see already, though, just how effective a Morph is. This is a good Morph player as well. Alpha Ninja knows what he's doing. And when you take over Lifestealer and you get Rage, you get open wounds, that is crazy. And it is just so difficult to take down this hero when he gets effectively a BKB and that attack speed steroid for free. You also are like such a low HP hero. If you open wound somebody, you can see he's just healing himself to full almost. It's like 100 a hit of health back. So it'll be that 1 core versus 3 core as this game progresses. Technically Visage counts, but he's just too far behind to have that super high game impact. He'll be more relied upon for building damage and, you know, team fight, a lot of control, a lot of disable with those bird stuns. Yeah, Afterlife had a really poor laning phase, but he's got Roar, he's got Vlads. What more do you need as a Beastmaster?
Yeah, he's still able to offer that opening for fights. Tekcac still trying his best to catch up in the game. The Helm, the Medallion. As we say, you know, it's hard for him to really be an aggressive threat against these heroes for now.
It's pronounced Tekcac, right? Because the X is an H sound.
I believe so. I always have.
I think it's.
I've always said Tekcac.
Yeah, I was talking with Vlad yesterday because I wanted to.
Because I imagine it's like Havos.
Yeah, right.
It's the X, you know, it's Tekcac.
It's just so strange. Like I learned, so I was like, okay, so what's Vlad short for, right? Vlad is short for Vladislav, and if you're Vladimir, Vova is what's short.
But that is different.
Cool is that?
Isn't that different for some Vlads?
I don't think so.
Maybe. I swear there's some Vlads that are Vlad. But I think
yeah, I think that's because they're Vladislav, not Vladimir.
You don't think there's Vladimir?
I mean, maybe, but then it'd probably be more
I have heard
westernized.
that. I have heard something along those lines.
So like no one's Vladimir, but he gets called Vova, which is cool. Vova just sounds cool.
Isn't that? Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah. I don't know anyone called Vova. I've not heard that nickname be used. FNG. Be fine, or is he? Chain Frost, it's out. Bounce around, he's going to keep those birds away from the Dazzle. Looks like it doesn't matter either way as Fada. And 33 are on top of him. FNG will pop to a couple more Quill Sprays, surely he'll get another heal out. 33 does dive for that. And they will actually turn kill 33. I mean, it'll be huge if they can get Fada as well. Ninja does turn if the Bristleback starts to go in with the Quill Sprays. Up towards the top, they'll look to nuke down PPD. The birds are upon him as well. Toss forward, gets Tekcac on top of him. They'll take 2 kills, Gambit. Striking back pretty hard here. Now starting to see the power of Alpha Ninja in the fight. It is an E-Blade at a very good timing, 15 minutes in.
Yeah, the one downside of the NiP lineup is that they just don't have much catch. They can run at you.
The disable's not great.
Yeah, eventually you'll have a bat with the Blink Dagger, but for now, they don't have any methods of punishing Gambit. They have these strength heroes. Sure, you can temper the aggression of Gambit, prevent them from tower pushing with the bristles in front of the tower, but you can't find kills. And until the bat has that item, there's no delivery for the Lifestealer either. You can see like 3-3's Night Stalker, you're just not tanky enough, you're not farmed enough to have that high game impact you're hoping for. So it'll be interesting to see how this game progresses, but do keep in mind that unless Lifestealer is way more OP than I think it is, Morph will win this game for Gambit if it goes late enough.
And again, we really have to remind you, the other day, Alpha Ninja had a fantastic game on his Morphling, and this game is setting out to be again. They get Saxa again, once in the mid lane. He's out on his own. The Hack's able to get on top of him with the control and the birds. They're picking up kills. And 17 minutes in this game, it's a close one. Despite the fact that both the Visage and the Beastmaster had such a tough time, Alpha Ninja is more than picking up for it.
Yep. And this game is just all about, for NIP again, they don't have the ability to make plays too much, so they need to focus on their positioning. Who farms where? I'd like to see Saxa stay away from mid and play up top with the Lifestealer of Ace, because you can find kills in tandem, and you kind of keep Ace a little more secure when he's farming that hard area of the map. Let Fada play center field, you know, defend that tower and have that like less space to cover if you need to go help teammates in other lanes. But for now, like the mid tower staying alive is big for NIP, because until that dies, it's near impossible for Gambit to take Roche. It's one of those big radiant advantages.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And they're going to go for the mid tower. Ace doing a good job just being annoying, distracting that ward from Peter on the hill. It's a lot of information. You see the river, you see this little high ground area on the right side and above. Both teams with pretty stable possession of their own woods. Map is about 50-50 split. Only a 1K gold lead separates these teams, and it's been maintained for the last 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, it just really starts to stabilize between the sides.
It's to be expected, though, right? I mean, with I think the 4 teams in this semifinal stage are the ones we expected to see. Gambit, Nip here, Alliance, NaVi on the other side. Certainly the best 4 teams in the tournament after watching everyone play. It's curious Sox went for the bots first. I would have expected drums first, especially if he's going to go for it now. Here's why. Oh, wow.
Wasn't quite enough. Saxa is still alive, but now the Poison Touch does hit onto him. Alpha Ninja getting flame broken underneath the tower. The Raw's going to be down to PPD. Alpha Ninja trying his best to get out, but they're on top of him. The silence there as well, so there's no way for him to zip out to safety. They get the morph. Saxa, I mean,
wow,
only just surviving to the magical combo of Alpha Ninja. It wasn't quite enough. And they're also, by the looks of it, going to potentially lose FNG. He's got the TP out. They've got it any way to cancel it. They haven't, so FNG will be able to get himself back to base. But that big kill for NIP, getting them all.
And that is it's almost part of like why I don't even like the E-Blade, right? Because you go for this kill, but you don't get it. And now all of a sudden, it's like you've thrown the game a bit. That one mistake, Nip is going to, they're a good team. They're going to know how to punish you. And one death on your carry turns into a tower, and all of a sudden a 3K gold swing. That's big. And that severely hampers Alpha Ninja's progression, because that E-Blade is really not the optimal item for acceleration. It takes a long time to purchase. So instead of a Dragon Lance at 10 minutes, you had an E-Blade at 18.
Yeah.
And it's 8 minutes where you're a bit slower than maybe you prefer. Not a huge difference, but Midas Radiance on the other hand is what you're competing with. Ace has no issues with his scalability.
Oh, we'll see in the mid again. Starting to group up once more to try and finish off this tier 1 tower that they came for earlier. Fortification. Frost Armor's out onto the tower.
So good from Nip. Like, just camp mid. Keep this tower alive. Ace is farming.
Oh, he's trying to go for the PPD kill again. Yeah, that's Alpha Ninja going in, trying to find a kill opportunity, but they're instantly on top of him. He does have backup around, so NIP won't be able to punish him immediately. He's actually going to try and turn it into the Batrider, but he instantly gets lassoed after he's done so. The Grave will be there on him, but they've lost FNG on the Dazzle. He's trying to Firefly himself away out of the Roche pit and will manage to escape.
Alpha Ninja, if you're watching this or you're listening, maybe your manager's tuned in, somebody slipped this guy a chill pill.
He's just going in.
Yeah.
You see, I mean, he's tried it now on the 2 supports. These are the heroes that theoretically maybe he can kill, but he can't at the moment with even with the E-Blade. It's just not enough damage, and he's putting his team in a bad position.
It's not just that, he only won 1 Wraith Band. So really just, he rushed this E-Blade, and to your point, like, he hasn't, and I'd argue it's been hurting him, because twice now he's been punished for kills he just can't find. And Morph is one of the heroes I think you still, even after the changes, can easily, every game 2 Wraith Bands, but most, I think 3 is warranted. You can make a smoke play for Roche, but I don't know if this is going to work out here. Nip should have a read on the situation.
I don't know if they will in time.
Oh wow, this actually, never mind, this dies incredibly fast.
Yeah, they've got a lot of speed at taking down the Roche. See with the odds here, it's sort of gone down a little bit for Gambit, so getting a little more confident with the way that they're seeing the Morph playing and seeing that he is very farm, but it's still a bit tentative because of the way he can get caught out of a position. This time round, they will get the zip onto 33 with the waveform, and it's enough to nuke him down. So the Night Stalker's gone. They'll try and start to move him for more underneath the tower, but Sax is able to keep himself at a far enough distance. Immersion tries to move him for a toss back, but the Rage is out from Ace. Tower has been taken now, though, by Gambit in the middle lane.
I feel like I've seen this a lot in my life. Hey guys, Roche died. Let's go run at the pit. But wait, we don't want to fight them, so we'll run away. Lose one. Could have been worse. Only 3-3 goes down. Still curious as to Sox's build. Do we have a toss back coming in?
And yes, we do. Immersion. He's found Fada. Dragging back, he has got the Frost Shield though. Alpha Ninja is going to turn into Lifesteal to get the Rage. At the same time, Ace is looking towards Dahak. Alpha Ninja on the backlines will be able to burst down PPD. Dahak getting lassoed back. Dahak still alive as FNG gets the Grave off onto him. He's going for the TP out, Dahak, and he's going to make it back to base. FNG will fall, but he saved Dahak, and Alpha Ninja, he's still fighting, nearly gets Fada. One more hit would have done it, but he couldn't quite get it off. In fact, it didn't matter. He ticks down. FNG had the poison touch on him. That's 2 dead on NIP. As Alpha Ninja burst onto Saxa. Saxa, waveform's going to be there from Alpha Ninja, and he's going to TP out right underneath their noses. Alpha Ninja.
One of the big changes to the Void, the Night Stalker Q, it just doesn't interrupt anymore. Nip have no stuns. Like, PPD is a real hard time staying alive in these engagements, and if he doesn't have Gaze Up and Lasso's not used, they have no stuns.
Yeah, I mean, the way that Gambit could take that fight, like underneath the tier 2 tower, and still get pretty much, you know, all the cores out of there.
Yeah, but if you look at the net worth, I mean, Ace is still skyrocketing. It's Midas Radiance. He will continue to farm faster than any hero in this game. So even though Gambit looks to be certainly ahead, it's still just a 1K lead. And you can see it's shrinking every moment Gambit isn't on map. Like, even though Nip has 2 heroes dead, they're still able to get more resources out of the map just because of how fast Ace consumes these creeps.
Some white to be the build for Ace. The Manta very nearly done for Alpha Ninja.
Yeah. We'll see. Again, it's tough because I just haven't seen enough Lifestealer and pro matches to know just how hard he scales. Like, there's certain matchups where you're like, okay, you know, you've seen it, where, okay, if this goes to 30, 35 minutes plus, like, PL is probably the one best understood by most people in the scene. It's like, all right, they don't have PL answers. It gets to this critical moment, and then it's GG. You can't kill him.
Immersion. Oh, he's going to get the toss in onto PPD from the side. Ace is going to try and wrap around and on top of FNG. The Crimson Guard keeping FNG fine for a little bit. He's able to turn and walk himself away, and already NIP, they've lost their 2 supports. Toss back as well onto Fada, separating him from the rest of the team. They do lose FNG, but again, another trade. The Gambit come out on top of for now. Dahak, though, has been chased and slowed by the 3 of them. That'll make it a little closer as they do find that safe lane Visage. Immersion and Afterlife, Alpha Ninja as well. The only 3 able to get out of that.
Oh, wow.
And that was the Morph's Manta style.
It's huge.
It's going to be on the sidelines for an extra 3 minutes.
And I love this build from Fada as well. He had queued up Lotus Orb at first, but Sheeva's is so much better here. Not only do you get that vision advantage, but the attack speed slow on all of these minions, all of these creeps. Like, it doubly affects Visage Birds because of the way that their attack speed functions. They have a very low BAT, so attack speed minus is more effective. I don't know the math, I just know that it's good. Right, Purge? Yeah, he gave me a thumbs up. Yeah, exactly. He'll have to give us the math later.
Oh, Immersion will get picked up by Ace. Put PPD in a bit of an awkward position as Immersion did get the toss off in time before it went down. Throws him into the hands of Alpha Ninja to finish off the kill, but there's going to be a couple of minutes that, to say, the Morph spill will be slowed down. Unable to complete the Manta. Is that ultimate courier, ultimate orb on the dead courier.
Oh.
But a very, very, very close match. 25 minutes in, and
You
the big test as it goes on really is, can this Morph out-carry the Lifestealer like it has done, and as you would expect the matchup to be, or is Ace strong enough and Lifestealer strong enough at this point in time that the Morph doesn't matter? It's not going to be easy for NIP.
No, definitely not. Not easy for either team, really. You had the feeling this would go late at the draft, and especially after watching the early mid-game transition, you knew this was going to be a 2, 3, maybe even 4 Roche game. Tough for either side to really find a foothold to really push down the enemy side of the map. Very evenly matched teams. Limited catch on both sides. Game of tank-on-tank warfare.
They're on top of the Beastmaster. 33, he's trying to go straight in.
Yeah. Man, you know what reminds me of? You ever watch StarCraft, Owen?
No. Well, I mean, I've seen clips, but I've never watched it.
So there was a metagame that developed that was like everyone spammed like Marines and siege tanks. And it was just redeploying and moving your tanks back and forth. And eventually somebody ran in and got killed. That's what it feels like.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, I guess, yeah. Well, I don't know what you... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you mean by this.
You're supposed to just disagree with me. You can trust me.
It just sounds like you're saying the game's slow and not very interesting.
That's what you're. Well, that's what you're saying. I'm not.
No, that's what you're saying.
I mean,
You're saying you're comparing it to some bad patch of StarCraft.
It wasn't a bad patch. It was high skill. You know, there was a lot of running back and forth. You ever play Red Rover as a kid? Is that a game in England?
Oh, what is a Red Rover?
It's like Beastmaster is. It's you all link arms, right?
Yeah.
And then the other team like runs at you and tries to break through your arms.
That's called British Bulldog.
Really?
Yes, that's what it's called in the UK. It was banned in schools, of course, because it's very dangerous. You're not allowed to play British Bulldog. Which is a much better name than Red Rover. That sounds all like happy and hug. British Bulldog sounds aggressive and violent, just as the game was.
True. I'll give you that. I think it was banned in my school too, but they just played it anyway.
I mean, of course it's banned. I mean, having kids lock arms and then run at each other, yeah, hardly sounds like the height of health and safety. They do get the hack here behind the tower and diving in as well. Looking for Alpha Ninja. They found him in the trees. Can he get out? He's going to have to wait for him up in a second. Tries to turn and does have FNG nearby, but can FNG get to him in time? He cannot. As they'll lose Alpha Ninja, they'll lose FNG as well. NIP group up and goes at 5. They're even going to find the bird by looks at nope.
Wait, what happened? We were discussing elementary school, and then all of a sudden it's 10K lead for NIP.
Yeah, they
swarmed them. Yeah,
they did. They just dived straight past that tier 2 top, knowing that after Dahak was gone, the Morph on his own, as the rest of the team was fairly split up. FNG unable to get there in time, and now NIP they're back on track, taking tier 2 towers and now knocking onto the doors of the base.
Yeah, this is a pretty impressive performance, and perhaps we should give NIP a little more respect. You know, this game was slow, but you've got to assume that a team as composed and methodical as this one is going to be comfortable in a slow game, because it is that way because they want it. And all of a sudden they take a tier 3, shrines are open, 10K lead.
Yeah, still 20 seconds without the Morph. So they will play it safe though.
And the itemization, I think, is key. They've got so many auras now. They've got drums, Vlads, Sheevers, AC, next item on Ace, it was just finished. Even a Glimmer Cape up on the bat. Just so much sustain, tank ability. Oh, wow, they actually don't have a Vlad. Somebody's got to grab one of those, folks.
Not quite yet. And interesting with the odds that the odds were getting more confident that NIP were not going to do well this game. I mean, maybe they're right. It's still hard to say that, but they're now at a 10K lead. The game state looks very good for them. It just really depends how much you believe in the Morph. But this Morph, after that death, he's falling far behind Ace's Lifestealer. Nearly a 5K difference in farm between the two of them. And you'd imagine that should be enough to put the Lifestealer in a position where he isn't feeling too vulnerable against this Morph at this point in the game.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to come down to the Roshan, I believe. Though, Nip, you're at a position now, like, look how farmed Ace is. And this really all goes back to the way the lanes came out. Because even though the game was even, it was always this 2-on-1 core scenario. And the mistakes from Alpha Ninja limited his ability to become that just S-tier hero in this game. You want to see him on top of the charts by a significant margin. Instead, he's actually in 3rd place. And Nip have these 2 real cores, whereas Visage just feels like a non-factor.
Yeah, he's just struggled to have an impact this game. Because of the slow start, it is the risk of when you run this tri-lane Visage. You're not going to have that early game boost. And of course, they were forced into it. They picked the Visage early, and with the Bristle in response, Gambit couldn't afford to put the hack in the mid lane against that Fada. They had to put him in a side lane.
And good scan from Soxa. He knows somebody's hunting him down bottom, which means his team now all of a sudden has this window to walk straight into Roche, or perhaps you pursue FNG's Dazzle. Looks like that's the case, and hello.
FNG, oh, it doesn't actually have a TP.
No.
So, I mean, they are TPing in. That's actually going to scare Ace off. They'll actually, with those TPs, keep FNG alive. Going to turn towards Ace. He is very beefy with that AC. They do get the pull on the side. They get the roar off, but Alpha Ninja is in trouble. 33's on top of him with the AoE silence. In fact, Alpha Ninja is just dying. It's the strength of this Night Stalker against the Morph. There's no way you can just manta out of that cloud of darkness and silence.
And that, like, once again, Alpha Ninja, man, you're not killing Ace, dude. He's got an Assault Cuirass. He's got a Radiance. Like, what are we doing here? That's the, like, 4th time I've seen him make critical errors just due to over-aggression, overconfidence, whatever you want to call it. But you got too much.
Slipping away from Gambit. As you say, you can't make mistakes against NIP.
I'd say it's slipped away. If you wanted to get off that roller coaster, you shouldn't have signed up for it. You are locked in, and they are starting to go down the precipice.
This will be an easy Roche for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Do you like roller coasters?
I don't mind them. I don't really go to theme parks too often.
Yeah, same.
Why would? Do you like roller coasters?
No, I've always been afraid of heights.
Really?
So
it seems like you wouldn't go on a roller coaster? Or?
Well, I have. I've gone skydiving too, but it was terrifying.
Oh. Okay, I've never.
But like, I wanted to just do it, you know. What's the saying? Like, being brave is being afraid, but doing it anyway. Right?
No, I think maybe it was something like that. Yeah, I don't think there's a brave element of it. It was just if you're afraid, do it anyway. It was just if you're unafraid, don't. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows?
So ride roller coasters. That's
somebody said that. Oh, roller coasters are good fun. I prefer the water rides though. They're the best.
Yeah, I agree. Water slides are hype.
Not water slides, just the water rides.
What's that?
Oh, the ones where you go around
the
and like,
flume, you mean?
there's like, it's got the nice slow start where you're sitting in a little ring and you're bumping around, and then it finally goes up some little, barn that's also some sort of tower that you're climbing. Then you just go down one big drop at the end.
It's called a log flume.
A log flume. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Well, Gambit obviously going to stay in. They're going to try and defend. They haven't lost a Rax yet, so all things considered, they've got a prayer. But when your morph is 8-9K, it's 2 items effectively behind the enemy carry. It's tough, and that seems to be the issue with Lifestealer right now. In that he's just, it's so tough to kill him, especially with Gambit. Like they have 1 BKB piercing disable the roar. If it's not used on him, you can't stop him, and you just farm too fast. Midas Radiance, like these items are still insane, and that's the build on this hero.
The hack.
Oh my god.
It's just, it's got a BKB. He is running, but Ace, he's chasing. So he will be kept safe. Ace can't quite dive any further for the hack. Actually, whoa.
I would have.
Okay, they were able to blow up the Aegis. It's going to be the Aegis gone there with a quick E-blade combo. Ace won't be worried about dying a second time, though. Teammates around him, and we'll be able to rage and back off.
You know what that means? Game slows down.
It does.
Don't know if you actually even want to go high ground anymore. You're the side NIP.
No, Aegis.
Soxa gets a solo kill on Afterlife.
Afterlife was playing off with him. Playing with him up on that top lane as Saxa was trying to bring the creep wave round. But it ended up in tears for Afterlife's Beastmaster. It's 20k advantage still for NIP. Octarine going to be the next item pickup for Fada.
What about carnival games?
Right.
Like toss the ring on the bottle.
Yeah, but I mean, most of them are never win. Most of them
I know.
They are rigged. Oh, 33. Just a bit of a tickle from the E-blade combo. Nothing more. As he's able to fly back in motion. Does manage to toss him back into the base, actually. But FNG is already dead, so they're now without 2 members of Gambit. Crossed armor there. Keep NR 33 safe from the burst in immersion. He's still out here. So that'll be a 3rd pickup for NIP. Gambit continuing to crumble. Towers as well falling as 33's there to finish off the tier 2 bottom. Open another lane for potential high ground pushing from NIP.
And it's finally nighttime as well, so 3-3 can play his hero to the fullest potential.
Every time Alpha Ninja is just trying to get in there, it's just not enough.
That E-blade does a ton of damage now, but I question whether it was the ideal choice to be a first item pickup. It wasn't doing so much earlier on.
They're trying to go in again, onto 33. They'll get the roar off. 33's dead. Saxa attempts to go in with the lasso. He's only got a lasso on a bird. As now Saxa will fly himself back and out of the base. Alpha Ninja looks towards Fada. E-blade there to slow him down. Can they kill him off? He's pretty low. The axes, the soul assumptions, the bird's still upon him. Fada should fall, and does indeed, to the punches of the hack. They will manage to push NIP back. getting 2 big kills in the process.
Yeah, I mean, so far in this game, Nip has really just capitalized on Gambit errors, notably by the Morphling to find pickoffs that then created chaos within fights. They're suddenly getting 2, 3 kills, a tower, objectives start melting, but Gambit still has pretty formidable team fight. The damage output of this Morphling is not negligible, even though he's out-farmed. And when 3-3 goes down, the staying power of this NIP lineup disappears, especially if the lasso is used on a little Tweety Bird instead of the enemy hard carry.
With these 20 seconds of no Night Stalk or 40 seconds of no Bristle, Gambit quick to push back. See how much they can get done. They are going to have Alpha Ninja bringing around the bottom lane, so they should be on track to take at least 2 tier 2 towers. Able to close a little bit of the 20k lead that NIP have. Still, of course, a very comfortable position for NIP to be in. Gambit showing that they're not quite out of this one yet. Can still fight back to some extent.
The real reason for this huge gold disparity is obviously the shrines in the tier 3, but they've gotten so many quad bounty rune pickups on NIP. Gambit, you need to make sure you can test the 40-minute runes next 3 minutes. And all of a sudden, Soxley finally has that blink dagger. Look how fast he moves. If he gets an Ags, it's going to be pretty big because you can get Dazzle +1 perhaps.
You can get the bird +1.
That's true.
And
Both birds.
Doesn't matter if you miss then.
True. Does it prioritize heroes? I think it does.
I think it does, yeah. The lasso interaction with the Ags.
It's so weird, like, just the amount of knowledge, even as just a regular viewer, right? Like, we're just talking about bad Ags, like, everyone watching knows what that is. And I would say, like, 95% of them do, but think of how many interactions there are, like, unique ones in Dota, right?
Oh.
And they always get changed.
Oh, the viewers know. We got some good old hardcore fans in Twitch chat.
Definitely the most intelligent fan base, I think, in all of esports.
Absolutely. We're talking about you specific viewer in chat. That's right, you're the clever one. None of the others are, though, just you.
Games once again slowed down. I think it will be about this pace until the third Roche comes up. I love the item decisions by 3-3, though. It's all about positioning for him. He's got the Super Urn to ensure that he can shut down that Morphling, prevent the mass sustain of the Agi to Strength Morph, and now Shadowblade for more positioning advantage, and the Nullifier. Pretty soon, you open up on somebody, they're dead even with their BKB because you totally doomed them. They're silenced, they're unable to use items, and that's it. We'll see, we'll see. There's the Nullifier, there's the heart on Bristleback.
Yeah, Fada.
You gotta be careful with Gambit. You know, you can't target the Bristle no matter what you do. You've got to ignore him completely, save him for last. The damage output for that Bristle is still relatively low in comparison to what Ace's Lifestealer can dish out. So both teams just try and take out the enemy carry. Morph versus Lifestealer. Who shall survive? And already a Morph onto the Lifestealer. That's the ideal target. And Soxa as well could look to make some serious plays here. He's got the blink. He moves around with drums popped at like 550 move speed. He's a haste rune on demand. He's got to find that lasso target, get that pick off. See if you can close out this game. Bounty runes in 30. Looks like we'll have that 2-for-2 trade, which is telling. You know, Gambit was losing 3 or 4 at a minimum for the last 3 spawns.
Yeah,
all
now
of a sudden,
they're actually able to get some.
and still 20k down, but as we all know, as the amount of gold within the game increases due to the duration, that advantage starts to mean less and less if it is unchanging. So 21,000 looks intimidating, but really, that's like 3 or 4 big items. Once these heroes start to have, you know, 4 or 5 each respectively, who really cares? Like, Ace is maxed out. If he sells Midas, he can probably pick up something else that's new, but for now, he's got a lot of dead gold just sitting in the bank. Or on his person. Where do you keep your gold, do you think? You think everyone's walking around with like a fanny pack?
I think so. And some sort of crevice. Fada, he's got a DD in the bottle ready to go for the next fight. Full scarred, he's now done for Alpha Ninja, so at least a bit of a way to help fight through the rage of Ace's Lifestealer. Has some sort of kite and slow. Nice. There it is for Soxa. Look for those big double lassos. It's just Alpha Ninja has a lot of things to be wary of this game as the Morphling. You cannot afford to get caught out. So if they can catch him and sort of the silences, he's still a pretty easy target. Texas going to lead in with the Glimmer Cape, and he's found him. Drags him back. That's him gone. Surely. There's no way out for him. And he went in on the Skadi purchase. There is no buyback available for the Morphling. The hack will BKB and TP home, but Afo Ninja gone for 90 seconds without buyback. 500 gold, well, sorry, 1,500 gold short of it, yeah. The Skadi just pushed him too far out of the pocket.
I don't want to point fingers here, but this game is all Afo Ninja's fault.
But to be fair to him, surely the game looked kind of good at some point just because of Afo Ninja.
Yes?
Like, it was his game to lose. And he...
Well, it was. You're right. I guess that's a good point. You know, if you're going to lose a game, at least make sure that
you were the reason why you were having any chance of winning in the first place.
Yeah, sounds about right.
That's, yeah, starting to crumble inside of the base. Triple kill for Fada. NRP just cleaning up as Gambit haven't got much more to offer in this game.
I mean, realistically, with the way they itemized, Nip was probably going to win this game as is. They just needed that one opening, one mistake that they could capitalize upon.
Yeah.
And they did a great job. 42-minute game, and really came down to 2 or 3 big moments. Just all pickoffs, all nice finds by either 3-3 or Saksa.
Yep.
The cores itemized in a way that they were never really true targets. You can't kill Lifestealer or Bristleback unless they're completely isolated.
And not really with an E-Blade build. The itemization of the Morph just feeling a little awkward.